Alright guys, so last video we have discussed about the post method. I have explained you how the post method works. Now this video I'm going to show you the get method. Okay, so get method is very simple. Get method will help you to get the data from Salesforce, right? And if you want to get the data from Salesforce database, all you need is the ID of that record which you are trying to fetch, which you are trying to get. So in my postman, I have created a record and this is the ID I have got. I'm going to copy this ID, okay? And now I'm going to call this get method, guys. Post method last time I have called, this time I'm going to call the get method. So what change I have to make here? What do you think? What change I have to make here? Any guess? What are the changes I have to do here? This is not first time I'm saying it, right? We have already seen this in the previous video. So let me just explain this to you, right? First of all, you have to change the method. Method should be what? Get method. And then because you're trying to get some particular data, you have to provide that ID of that record. Where? Here, /Ctrl+V. That ID that you have received. No, I'm just gonna copy this, paste it over here. And because it's a get method, right? It doesn't require your body or something, right? Just hit on send button. When you click on send button, what's gonna happen is this API, Postman is going to call the get method of your Apex class. And when it tries to call your get method, right? Let me receive the request. It's sending the request. It doesn't take so much of time, right? Maybe my internet is slow. Okay, now we have received the response. So the ID that I have pasted, right? And the ID I have given here, this is the result. This is the get result of that. Okay. Now let me explain the code to you. Code is much simpler than post actually. Okay, so code looks like this. You have to put here @HTTP. You have to put @HTTP get, and guess what? Line number 5 is actually trying to get the request. Now the request you are not passing from this body. By the way, if you remove the body also, then also this will work. So the request this time is not getting it from the body, it is actually getting it from here. This is your request. And see, in the request I have so much of big URL. How your get method is extracting only this ID and getting you this particular response. Let me show you this. So when you try to, line number 5 is getting the entire line, the big URL that you're getting and putting into REQ. From that big line, I just have to get this ID, how this particular line is being. Okay. So there's a method called substring, very, very helpful method. Substring is basically will get you the sub part of that string after you specify the last index of, right? So basically my last index of, I'm just giving slash. So after this particular slash, whatever you have that is coming here in this particular line number 6 and putting into a lead ID. Getting me right? So the lead ID which you are passing here in the URL in the end right after the slash is actually being extracted by this substring variable and we are holding it in the lead ID. So I have got the lead ID here in this string variable called lead ID. Now I'm doing what? I'm just trying to get the data of that particular lead ID right in this SQL query. And whatever result I got here, I'm putting it here. There could be multiple data also which I'm putting here, and then this particular result that I'm returning is nothing but I'm getting as a response here. Okay, so let's say I want to get ID, first name, last name, company, and status also. What you have to do here? If you have to get the status also as part of the response, what do you have to do here? You just have to give the status here as part of this SQL query. So whatever value that you fetch, could be status or anything, it will be stored here in the result, and that's the result you are passing it, you are returning it. Okay, and then rest of the things, everything has been done by Salesforce. All we are doing is I'm trying to get the lead ID. Whatever custom logic that you have, you write it here, pass it on. Okay, pass it on. Return this to this method, and finally, which you will get it here as a response. Very simple. So get method, you just have to pass the ID and it will get it. Let's talk about the patch method in this video. Okay, patch method is basically it is just doing the update, right? And the use of the patch method is very simple. Okay. All you have to do is remove this ID because you have to pass this ID here. So I have removed that ID and I'm going to write comma bracket ID colon again another bracket control. Okay, so the ID that I was passing in the URL for the case of get, right, we have to pass it in the body here. Once you click on send, right? By the way, let me update something here, okay? My last name was not correct, okay? Let me just correct it. My last name I have corrected, and the company name I'm giving here underscore 123. And let me check. Let me just quickly copy this ID, Control C, and open this record already. Okay. Anyway, this record has already been opened. I'll just quickly paste. So my record has already been opened, and if you see here, the last name is still wrong. The company name is still test company, but the moment I click on this send button, it will update my data. Check this out. If I refresh, my record has not been updated, by the way. Okay, I have again done some mistake. Okay, let's try to find out. Let's try to do the postmortem and see what mistake we have done. Okay, so I try to send the query, but my record has still not been updated. The reason is this is the reason. Okay, I forgot to change the method here. I'm still using get, right? I have to use what? Patch method, because I'm trying to do update. So I'm giving here get method, but I'm not giving here the ID. Then how can you expect this code to work? Correct? So now I have given patch. If I click on send, this record has been updated. See, the company name I have given as test underscore 123, right? If I go here and refresh, fortunately my name has been corrected fully, right? Last name. And if you see the company, it is now underscore 123, correct? So it's a very simple code, right? I mean, anybody who's coming from non-coding background also can understand this. So patch method is just trying to fetch the data. Again, same code, okay? It's not a new code that I'm trying to explain here. Line number 27 is the same thing. REST context.request, which is actually fetching the JSON data, putting into this REQ, and the line number 28, I'm converting the JSON into a string. Line number 29, I'm deserializing the JSON, right, and putting it into this lead object so that it can update it. And finally, line number 30, I'm updating it, and then I'm returning it. Whatever I'm returning, I'm getting it as a response over here. Alright, so this is how your patch method works, and the delete method works very simply. Delete, where you are specifically deleting a particular record, correct? So all you have to do is copy this ID, paste it over here, which record you are trying to delete, correct? And then select change the method. So delete method and it don't bother what body you are passing, what JSON body you are passing. So if you remove that body, not a problem, right? If you click on send, what will happen? The record will be deleted, right? This record, see why there is no ID. After we perform this delete, why there is no ID? Because the record has deleted, right? And once you delete the record data, you don't get the ID back again. Now if I go back to my record and try to refresh this record, see what happened. This record has been deleted, correct? And the code is even more simpler, the delete code. Same thing is happening here. It's trying to get the request from the body here, then converting into lead ID with this substring, right? The same thing we did it for update method, right? Yes, get method we did the same thing, right? So with the help of substring, it is trying to fetch the ID from the URL and then writing a query and just performing this delete operations. Very simple, right? So this video we have learned how can this particular Apex code, which I have not written a single line of code, right? This code is already ready. I'm just going to give you the link also where you can copy this code. I just have explained you. Hope you understand the explanation. Hope you understand now each and every word from this particular REST API. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this particular REST API not from Postman. Postman is just for your testing. I've done with the testing, right? What you have to do now is you have to call this particular REST API from this source org, right? So I have the source org. Next video I'm going to show you in the source org what code you have to write. Again, I'm not going to write any code, right? Salesforce has already given us the code. I'm going to show you what is that code. I'm going to explain you the code word by word. All this magic that you're seeing now has been done already by Salesforce. All you are doing as a developer, copying the right code, understanding it, and tweaking the logic. That's it. If you can do this, you become a good developer, right? So let me just probably this video scenario is very simple. Hopefully what we'll do, we'll try to get some very complex scenario and try to explain you in future videos where we'll understand with this particular simple code that has been given by Salesforce, how this can be changed to a complex code to understand, to handle a big business logic. Okay, so let's go to the next video. I'm trying to explain in the next video how can you consume the the REST API from the destination part. See you in the next video. Thank you.